Hi everyone, if you are new here, in this series of going solo videos, I am using the final mission of the Dragon's Gambit campaign as a test bench for different mechs, variants and weapon loadouts. This is because this mission presents a good opportunity to explore different tactics, as well as the possibility of fighting both close and long-range combat. Also, I am going into this battle by myself without taking any of my Lancemates with me, so that we could better see and compare how each mech survives and performs in the same kind of scenario. Now, as far as this going solo series are concerned, so far in my previous videos I've tested pretty much every single assault mech chassis available to date, even several different variants of some assault mech chassis. And today this is going to be the first video of this series where I am stepping down from the assault mech territory into the heavy mech territory. To tell you right away, I am not going to be testing every single available heavy mech chassis to date, simply because I do not have every available mech chassis, every available heavy mech chassis in my collection in this career. And the second reason is that I don't even necessarily like every single heavy mech chassis, and I don't think that every single heavy mech out there will be adequate for this kind of mission, especially given the fact that I am not taking any of my Lancemates with me. So for that matter, I will show you only the heavy mechs which I do like a lot, which I appreciate, as well as the heavy mechs which I consider to be my all-time favorites. And to begin with, I would like to see how one of my all-time favorites, heavy mechs, performs in this kind of scenario, and this mech is the Marauder. I would like to test only one variant as far as this final Dragon's Gambit mission is concerned. But let me first explain you which variants I've got in my collection in this career, which, you know, this collection, as I've said in my previous videos, was imported from my other career, which I've stopped playing in the year of 3049, which is 10 years from now. Right now it's obviously the year of 3039. So for that matter, I will be testing only the variant which is available to date. Alright, so let me first go over some of the variants which I've got in my collection and which may not necessarily be available in this in the year of 3039, and let me explain you what's going on. Now, let's start with the variant, the Marauder variant, which is pretty much my all-time favorite Marauder variant, which unfortunately is not yet available in the year of 3039, which is based around the Excel engine. And this variant is MAD-5D, my all-time favorite Marauder variant, which is going to be available perhaps, you know, a few years after the year of 3039. I don't know which year exactly, but somewhere in 3040s, obviously. Okay, the reason why I didn't get rid of this variant is because, you know, I was working very hard to acquire it in my other career, so for that matter I am keeping it in this collection in the cold storage until it becomes available, historically speaking. Okay, so this is the loadout. It's an absolute badass. This is what I've made out of it. It's got jump jets. Excuse me. It's got a bunch of double hit sinks, and this is because I've upgraded every single large energy slot through the ER PPC. I'm using this short burst medium lasers in here. This is because, you know, they have a better hit, points of hit. They are not as hot as the standard medium lasers, but they have also the improved firing rate. But they have like a lesser damage potential, which is, you know, 4.55 points. But like I said, they make up with a better, you know, hit generation and better firing rate. ER PPCs are absolutely amazing. They have incredible range. You can destroy targets with this far beyond the crappy MechWarrior 5 sensor range. Even like before you're able to get a lock on target, you can still shoot targets with this and destroy them before you even manage to get a lock on them. It's like an excellent sniper weapon. Excellent projectile speed, which is much greater to a standard PPC. The only problem is, you know, that they are extremely hot. As you can see, this generate 9.3 points of hit, which is a lot. This is perhaps, you know, the hottest weapon in this game, so you have to be careful with that. And then, of course, by default, this chassis houses here this Streka SRM2 in here. Well, so this is an absolute badass variant. Too bad it's not available yet in the year of 3031. I mean 3039, which is the current year, so for that matter we are not going to be using it today. We are not going to be testing it in this mission. Let's take a look at the other variant, which is a hero variant, MAD-BH. Now, there are two hero variants of the Marauder in this game. There is MAD-BH and there is also MAD-BH2. BH2 houses the Gauss rifle in this upper torso instead of the energy slot. I don't have this hero variant, the BH2, in this career, but I do have it in my other career, which I've been playing for a much longer time, and in that career I have virtually every single hero mech. Now let's take a look at this BH standard BH variant. This variant you cannot buy, you can only salvage it from the nasty guy, which is the bounty hunter. The guy who you work for and who eventually sets you up in order to pretty much like stab you in the back. I absolutely hate this guy. In that mission, in that final mission of that bounty hunter campaign mission, you get to destroy his mech, but unfortunately, no matter what you do, even if you headshot him, he's piloting this mech, he still manages to survive, and he will be stalking you until the rest of your life, like forever, no matter what. There is no way to kill that guy, even if you give this mech a headshot. Which is kind of frustrating, you know. I don't like when somebody stabs me in the back and then at the end says, oh, nothing personal, is just business. I absolutely hate this kind of stuff. I do not tolerate it. But anyways, nevertheless, it's an absolute badass variant. However, my only problem with all the hero mechs is that they are apocryphal. They do not exist in the lore. There is only one unit of each. You cannot have a lance of all these hero mechs. So for that matter, I tend not to use them these days. But nevertheless, obviously, this is a ridiculous firepower. You know, that's the way I configured it. The original configuration is different. Let's see what was the original configuration. Yeah, standard PPC, standard medium lasers. I've replaced them with ER PPCs and 4 medium short burst lasers, just, you know, for a better... Wait a second, there are 5 of them, not 4. I haven't seen this one. 5 medium lasers. That's, you know, an absolutely immense, you know, firepower. Even though, you know, this number doesn't tell you much, ignore this number. This is nothing. This won't tell you how the mech will actually perform in combat. In combat, this is absolutely devastating in a real-life combat on a real battlefield. So anyways, because this one is hard to get, if you haven't completed that Bounty Hunter campaign mission, you're not gonna have this mech in your collection. So for that matter, I am not going to be testing it in this mission. Plus, if you can survive this mission using the other Marauder, the standard one, then you can definitely survive this mission using this one. This is not really a question in here, so let's not use this one today. Alright, let's take a look at the other variant, which is MAD-3M variant, which is more or less common Marauder variant, the one that you can find even earlier in campaign, in earlier years. And this build, it's the build which I refer to as the budget, sort of like early in career kind of build. It doesn't have its, because this is the older variant, it doesn't have any jump jets in here, unlike those other newer variants. The way I configured it, by default, it comes with the... yeah, it's actually, you know, the same kind of loadout, except, you know, the... what I've done to change it, I've upgraded each weapon to the tier level 5 weapon, and I've also allocated the armor. I maxed out the armor in the head and in the torso, allocated everything to the front, and then I shaved off, you know, some points from the legs. This is sort of like, you know, the budget variant, the one that you can acquire early in career. There is also another variant, which is, you know, if you strip it down, it will be very, very similar to this. The MAD-3R variant, perhaps the most common variant in this game. It comes by default with the dual PPCs, but it comes heavily under-armored, and it runs very hard. But you can configure it pretty much the same way, especially early in campaign when you don't have a lot of PPCs. Large lasers are pretty much the way to go, especially if you don't have a lot of money, you don't have much reputation, and you don't have, like I said, PPCs in your collection. This is the variant to go for. However, we are not going to be testing it today. Why we are not gonna do this? Well, let me be honest with you. I don't think that this kind of weaponry and loadout will be adequate for this mission, given its difficulty. It's great for early in career, for, you know, easier missions, and where, you know, not obviously 100 difficulty level missions, and where the tonnage restriction is far less than the 400 tons. So it's great for those purposes, but it's not. I'm afraid it's not gonna be adequate for this mission. Plus, to be honest, with that very little single hit sinks, it tends to run kinda hot, especially if you're shooting a lot with a great intensity. You can kinda overheat it. You have to manage your heat very carefully. But again, it's a great budget variant for early in campaign kind of situations. So we are not going to be using it today for that reason, because simply it may not be adequate. Finally, let's talk about the variant which we are going to be using and testing today. That variant is obviously available in the year of 3039. You can find it in industrial hubs. You can buy it. You can even salvage it. This variant is MAD-3D. So let me show you its original loadout before we talk about my loadout. This is what it comes in by default. The stock configuration. It's got 2 PPCs. It's got 1 large laser. It's got 2 medium lasers and a bunch of single hit sinks to help with the heat management. The problem with this original loadout is that it comes in pretty heavily under armored, way under armored, and the heat management isn't necessarily the greatest either. So what I've done, first of all, let's take a look at my configuration. You see, like, it's under armored compared to my configuration, and it has less firepower. Now let me show you what I've done to it. Well, this is my loadout. So first of all, I've replaced all of those, a bunch of single hit sinks with double hit sinks. This allowed me to save some tonnage, which I've utilized for this PPC, which weighs 2 tons more than the large laser. And then I've maxed out the armor in the arms and the upper torso and the head, and I've allocated everything towards the front, which is what I usually do. It's much more armor. It's like 100 points more armor than the original configuration, the stock one. Then I've downgraded standard medium lasers to these medium short burst lasers to keep it with the heat management, because like I mentioned earlier, they produce less heat, but they also generate less damage, but they make up with the better firing rate as compared to the standard lasers. So that increased the firepower. The only compromise which I've made, I had to shave off like 6 points of armor off each leg, but even then it's a lot more armor as compared to the original stock configuration. So this is older variants. You can find it prior to the year 3039, like you can come across in industrial hubs. You can totally have it, and this is why we are doing it today. The only problem is that this kind of build, the one that I've made, you do need to have the double heat sinks in your collections, and you do have to have PPCs. So that is the only requirement for this build, meaning that you can pretty much build this kind of configuration, you know, somewhat like in later years, by the time you have some money, you know, and years spent, you know, to acquire the double heat sinks and PPCs. Anyways, so this is my configuration, and this is what I wanna test it. Now, another reason why I wanted to test this kind of configuration, this Marauder configuration, is because I wanna see how it is going to hold up to the other two mechs which I've tested prior in this final mission of the Dragon's Gambit, which have a pretty similar loadout. Okay, and I've been quite successful in this mission with those two mechs, and those mechs are the bigger brother of the Marauder, which is a 100-ton assault mech, Marauder II MAD-4A variant. I've made a video about it. I've done this, you know, mission with it. As you can see, it's a very, very similar loadout to the one that I've made, except it's got a bunch of single hit sinks. It doesn't really need double hit sinks. It's got good capacity with it. Exactly the same loadout. Let me show this again. So this is the one that we are gonna be testing today. You see 3 PPCs, 2 medium lasers, short burst. Same story here. 3 PPCs, 2 medium lasers, short burst. Okay. The only difference is that it's got jump jets, it can jump, and it's got the immense amount of armor. Let me actually show you a better view. You see, this is the greatest armor amount of armor, 670 points, which I was ever able to get on any mech in this game. This is thanks to these upgrades. Refined armor 1 and refined armor 2. It's all maxed out, all the way to the max, okay? The biggest amount of armor, even more than, you know, some of these atlases, just by a few points. So, we've already done it. I've been quite successful. I've destroyed like 21 mechs. Had like 21 mech kills, which is a pretty good number with this variant. And today we are gonna compare how this, you know, this standard variant compares. What's the difference though? Even though it's the same kind of weaponry, what's the main difference? The main difference is obviously in the amount of armor. 487, which is almost like 200 or like something like by almost 200 points less than that 100-ton monster. And the hit management isn't going to be as good as, you know, as that other one with a bunch of those single hit sinks. That mech, you know, this one you can pretty much never overhit, whereas this one you can. You have to be very careful. There is only one area which it's kind of superior and where this mech makes up for lesser armor and worse heat dissipation is the speed. 64.8 kilometers per hour versus 48 kilometers on this assault, you know, 100-ton monster, okay? So we've done it, we were successful with it. Let's see how this one compares to this. Now, before we do that, let me explain you another reason why I wanted to test it. I was talking about the other mech with a somewhat similar weaponry. Somewhat similarly, not entirely similarly. Which is the Awesome, the mech, which is one of my all-time favorite assault mechs. I absolutely love it. I've tested it in the same mission. I've got 21 mech kills as well. It was holding up on par with that large Marauder II. This 3 PPC rock, the only difference is that it actually, you know, it has less firepower than those two Marauders, because instead of two medium short burst lasers, it's got only one small laser. Nevertheless, it still managed, you know, I still managed to do the same number of mech kills with this Awesome as with that large Marauder. It's got a pretty great, you know, hit management with all these single hit things. It doesn't run very hot. It runs, of course, a bit hotter than that large Marauder II, but you know, it's pretty manageable. It's pretty manageable. So it's fantastic mech, one of my all-time favorite. You know, all-time favorites in the assault mech category. Absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it, and it performed just, you know, admirably in that mission. So finally, let's go ahead and see how this guy compares to those other two assault mechs. Again, it's less armor than either of those two, than the, you know, Marauder II and the Awesome, and the inferior heat dissipation, the cooling. You have to manage the heat very carefully. Let's take a look at the upgrades real quick, what I've done. Well, first of all, these are two of my standard. 45 internal structure, refined armor, you know, just increasing the armor and structure. These all are going towards the increase of the firing rate of these PPCs, all of these energy weapons, because, you know, this is the energy based variant. And then these two are going to help it a little bit with the heat management. You know, every bit, I guess, helps, even though it's very marginal and somewhat negligible, but, you know, we are using it because we can. Anyways, well, so there is this build. Let's go ahead and take this mission. As always, I am not taking any of my Lancemates with me as far as this test bench mission is concerned. Let's see if we can survive, and if we can, you know, get a good number of mech kills using this sort of like, you know, standard regular Marauder.
Simple. Drive out the remaining Knights of St. Cameron by any means necessary.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. It's Liberation Day. For the combat.
Well, right away, 64 kilometers per hour feels significantly faster as compared to those two assault mechs I was talking about that walk at 48 kilometers per hour. Now here I will try to shoot everything as much as I can from the long distance. I will try to avoid the long range combat to the best of my ability. Will try to aim well. Okay, his center torso is in a bad shape. Nope. Not yet. Nice, but as you can see, it already runs somewhat hot. So we have to be very, very careful with the heat in here. We cannot shoot with a huge intensity like we did with an Awesome or that larger Marauder. Let's see what's going on in
New
here.
target, Jaeger Mech.
Jaeger Mech. His leg is in a bad shape. This leg is gone. Now I'm gonna aim for the other one. Alright, alright, almost there, almost there, almost there. Let me get a good, you know, look. Ah, they finished him for me. Okay, okay. Wait a second. I have a luck on a longbow. Is it there? Okay, let's take care of this. I should stay farther away. I should stay farther away though. Yeah, this guy takes a bunch of beating, this grasshopper. Very, very annoying. But his torso is in a horrible shape. Okay, there he goes. Let's go for the Awesome. Ouch, ouch, ouch. He managed to hit me. Running hard, running hard.
Target acquired.
Okay, one PPC was enough. Because I shaved off his armor in his center torso. Alright, alright. I need to cool down a little bit. Let's be a little bit mindful and careful with it. But so far, I absolutely love it. I mean, I always loved this variant. There is nothing new about it. Marauder is like one of my favorite mechs of all times. But so far it holds up very well. Let's see what else is there. These friendly tanks, you know, they're just trying to get under my feet. It's so hard not to step on them. They're so, you know, just not very careful. Oh, okay, longbow. Yeah, let's get rid of that thing. That thing is nasty. Okay, almost there, almost there. Yes, yes, there we go. Now we can take care of this medium mech, which is, you know, the enforcer. Oh, running hard. Let's use medium lasers short burst because we're running hard and perhaps one PPC. Alright. There he goes, there he goes. The armor on my left torso isn't in the greatest condition. Let's work on this Zeus. Ah, wasn't a good idea. Should have stayed farther away. Shoot, that wasn't a good idea. That wasn't a good idea. Somebody's working on me right in the moment. It's this archer. Let's get rid of this archer. Yes, let's get rid of him first because this thing is pretty nasty at a longer distance. So let's take care of him sooner. Oops, I need to aim better. Okay, now we can take care of this Orion.
So be it.
There he goes. Okay. Yeah, my armor almost like have gone. And we do have several waves, enemy waves to deal with. There they are. We'll try to snipe.
New target, assassin.
Before, you know, they come. Ah, shoot. Ah, wasn't a good idea. Okay, okay, let's see what's going on.
Target acquired.
Let's see. First I wanna get rid of the Orion because he's got those LRMs. Let's take care of the little guy first, just so that one doesn't distract us as much. Okay, they finished him.
New target, Victor.
Victor, okay.
Target acquired.
And then this,
Incoming missile.
trying to avoid those LRM shots. Okay, thanks for jumping and making my job easier. Okay, I took his arm. He made my job easier by jump. Oh, whoa, that's another Marauder. That's the 3R variant I was talking about. He's got 2 PPCs and the AC5. Okay, that's my counterpart. Let's see if we can shoot him in the back. They usually have, you know, pretty big armor in the back. Yeah. Let's take care of his AC-20. Okay, now he's just a toy with the... okay, yeah, I disarmed him. That's why he had ejected. Needs to cool down a little bit.
New target, catapult.
Let's see if I can disarm him first. Okay, took his arm and needs to take his other... okay, they finished him. But I damaged him pretty heavily. What else is out here? Another enemy dropship. The Orion. There he goes. He was already damaged. Okay, I will try to stay farther away. I wanna try to snipe things with these PPCs, because this is what I've been doing when I was using Awesome.
Target acquired.
It's that stupid Banshee. He's also got 1 PPC. And he's pretty annoying, actually, you know. I find that, you know, standard PPCs, they aren't as destructive at longer range as in this game as they are at a closer or medium range. Take his arm, because those lasers are annoying. Okay, he's almost gone. There he goes. Still recovering from the flu I had recently. Okay, so what else is out there? The Zeus.
Acquired.
That stupid Banshee. Okay, here his PPC is gone. Oh no, hold on a second. We have the Thunderbolt there as well. Okay, yeah, we have quite a few things in there. I really like this speed. It really helps. I wanna take down the Zeus first because he's got missiles. Nope, that wasn't enough, apparently. Shoot, hitting the ground. He's heavily damaged. He's not gonna take much more than that. Let me finish him. Then I focus on his gun. Let's now focus on the Thunderbolt. Oops. I was hoping to take out his arm, but... Okay. No, that wasn't enough. Okay. No! His arm just refuses to go. Finally. SRM6s. Okay. Alright, so no more SRM6s. He's down to 2 medium lasers. He's just pretty much a toy. That's it. Alright, let's go finish this stupid bunch. Oops. My bad. He's down to small laser and AC5 burst fire. Is he getting ammo explosion? Yeah, no more AC5 burst fire, just, you know, a miss. Okay. Alright. So this is gonna be the final wave now. Let's get farther away. Yeah, that's, you see, the main guy. They are coming. So we have to survive another wave. Yeah, that Victor, Orion with those missiles. Yeah, I have to stay farther away because they've got that missile launcher in there. Yeah, that longbow. Oh my gosh, it does a lot of damage. Let's see. I think I should probably focus on him. Yeah, you see, I've hit his center torso with these 3 PPCs, and it wasn't really all that much damage from this kind of distance. ER PPCs, they damage a lot. Oh, poor guy. Oh man. Oh, but we've got that reinforcement over there. What should I do? Oh shoot! So that Victor, let me take down his AC-20. Nope. Okay, no more AC-20. Or is it still? Is it still there? No, didn't go down. Finally, I disarmed that longbow. That longbow is coming after me. I have to take a defensive position. I have to, you know, get here. Let's finish off that Victor, because he still has SRMs and 2 medium lasers. Just takes too much beating. Okay, let's do this. Running hot. I need to pull down. They are helping me. Though. I need to find the way to cool down. Man. Honestly, I should have been fighting at a longer range. Okay, I'm cooling down. Let me get farther away from this Awesome, and now we are gonna start working on him. Shoot, just got stuck against that. Alright. His head in a horrible shape. Let's see if I can headshot him. But it doesn't matter, his torso in a horrible shape as well. Okay, bye Awesome. Now we have to deal with this longbow. Let me cool down and step back a little bit. Okay, I've cooled down, and what I'm gonna do, since this is the last mech, I'm just gonna go for him. I don't care, I will not try to approach him carefully, I will just, you know, shoot him with everything I've got at this point. It doesn't really matter. That's it. Look at the amount of armor I have left so far. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a spectacular mech. I am very happy with this build. if you can acquire double hit sinks and 3 PPCs, this is what you should go for. Absolutely amazing, absolutely fantastic. I've always performed well in this mech. I'm not even surprised about this kind of results, to be honest. It's absolutely amazing. It doesn't have the armor of the Marauder II or the Awesome, but it makes up with the walking speed of 64 kilometers per hour. Let's see the summary. Was this a headshot? Yeah, I think it was a headshot. Although I'm not sure whether it was mine, because we had two Awesomes there. One of them was the main guy, and the one was like earlier in the mission. 19 mech kills. Amazing, amazing. It's like versus 21 mech kills in the large Marauder, you know, Marauder II and Awesome. Could have been even more, probably, you know, had I been using more of a, like a long-range combat. You know, could have been more, could have been less, you never know. But, you know, unlike with Awesome or Marauder II, there we had a bit of a structure damage. As far as I can remember, the armor on the side torso was gone, and there was just, you know, a little bit of a structure damage. Here we don't have any structure damage, it's all just an armor. Thanks to that, you know, faster walking speed. And even though we had, you know, less armor than on those that Awesome or Marauder, let's go assess the damage. Okay. Yeah, like you see, no components were lost, just the armor damage. Let's just, you know, see what's that. Yeah, you see, all about armor, just the armor, no components, cheap repair, and very quick repair as well. All right, so this is one of my all-time favorites, like early campaign variants, older variants. I'm not talking about 5D. Of course, I like that 5D variant, you know, that I was talking about earlier. Those hero mechs, both BH and BH2, absolutely badass. Even though, you know, I kinda, you know, question the idea of hero mechs. But this one is excellent, you know, earlier into campaign alternative, provided you can get a hold of 3 PPCs and double hit sinks. Very, very important. Do not even try this without double hit sinks. It's not gonna do it with 3 PPCs. But let's say, you know, if you come across this and you don't have double hit sinks, well, you know, speaking of earlier in campaign, I will still get this variant no matter what. And what I would do, I would probably do something like, I don't know, something like this. I will replace all the PPCs with the large lasers, maybe, you know. These are very hard to come by. So the short burst lasers, you probably, if you won't have PPC, you probably won't have this either. So you'll probably have the medium lasers, and then let's see how many, you know, single hit sinks we can do. I would do something, you know, I would put some in the arms, you know, just for the extra protection for those weapons, because they should, you know, get destroyed first. I will put some in here. I will put one in here. Let me actually repair all. Let's see how many we can do. Here, single hit sink. Here, single. Yeah, and you see, we actually, as far as the cooling goes, we are doing even better than, you know, with those double hit sinks. So this is what I would probably do earlier in the campaign. You know, if you don't have double hit sinks, and PPCs. Chances are, I mean, come on, you will have large lasers in your collection. You should acquire them as soon as you can. Excellent weapons. Single hit sinks. As far as you know, this or previous career goes, I've never even bought a single one. They are all salvaged. They all like build up in your inventory all the time from all the salvaged mechs. Like I always like sell them. I never buy them. So single hit things obviously are not the issue. Yeah, the one thing I would do, I will maintain, you know, the same amount of armor, and again I would replace everything with large lasers if you don't have PPCs or money to buy them. So this is this build should be manageable earlier in the career. Anyways, so yeah, this is my build. I absolutely love it. This MAD-3D variant. You should absolutely get one if you come across in the industrial hub before the 5D variant becomes available. So absolutely amazing, absolutely spectacular. I always loved it, and I'm not even surprised with the way it performed in this mission. I kind of expected it, to be honest, because, you know, given the fact I've done well with that larger Marauder II and the Awesome, this isn't surprising. Yes, it's got less armor than Awesome or Marauder II, but it makes up with the speed. Be a little bit more careful, of course, with the heat management. It does run somewhat hot, but it's manageable. Anyways, so thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Here is my take on a heavy mech, my all-time favorite heavy mech chassis of all times, you know, in this final mission of the Dragon's Gambit campaign with the 100 difficulty level. Thanks so much again for watching, and until the next video.